Hi guys, welcome to Daddy and the Don. Today we're going to be looking at Daddy's Dirty Dozen. This is the 12 players that I believe are going to be very poor in these Euros. They're going to flop, they're going to let their countries down. So let's get straight into it with number 12. Martin Braithwaite, Denmark. God knows how this guy's playing for Barcelona. He's probably the best con artist of our generation. Flopped at Middlesbrough, average at Leganes, and now partner in Lionel Messi. 3 goals in 2 seasons whilst at Barcelona, not good enough. If he starts for Denmark, it's not going to end well for him. They need to play Kasper Dolberg. Andrei Yarmolenko, Ukraine. Very poor since moving to West Ham, hasn't really featured. 0 goals in 15 this year, and he's playing for a Ukraine team that already struggled to score. Not going to see this going very well for him. Don't expect to see him on the score sheet. Marko Orbanovic, Austria. I can't remember any player going to the Chinese Super League and then coming back to have a good international tournament. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's any evidence that suggests this ever happened, and I don't see this trend changing. I think he's going to be poor, average at best. They probably shouldn't really play him, but he's going to play based on reputation. He's not going to do anything here. Luckily they're in an easy-ish group, so they should get through, but he's not going to be the reason they get through. Shaqiri, Switzerland. Normally the golden boy, wonder goals, but normally he's playing for his team. He's just sitting there rotting on the Anfield bench at the moment. Out of form, bit part player. He's not going to be the Shaqiri that we all know and love. Ivan Perisic, Croatia. In a team full of old boys, this 32-year-old was the talk of the town after the last World Cup. Linked with a move to Manchester United that never happened. Ended up going to Bayern Munich, couldn't replace the void left by Robben and Ribéry, stank the place out, ended up back at Inter Milan where he's been mediocre. Memphis Depay, fantastic on his day, but too inconsistent and goes missing in big games. Often his form can translate to the inconsistencies in the Holland team, so when you've got an inconsistent team with an inconsistent player, that's just a recipe for disaster for me. I'm not going to expect him to score many goals in this tournament. Again, Holland have got quite an easy group, so they should get through quite comfortably, but I don't expect to see him on the score sheet too often. David De Gea, what a poor few seasons he's had. Mistake after mistake, ultimately been dropped for Dean Henderson. Played in the Cups, we all know how that ended. He's going to make at least one howler in this Euros. Gareth Bale, Wales. The times where he'd go into a phone box, put on his Wales costume, come out and be Superman, these days are gone. It's not going to happen anymore. Chrissy Coleman's not going to be there dry humping him. He's got no one else in the team. He's going to struggle. He might score the odd goal, but they're not going to get out of the group, and there's going to be too much pressure on him. Cristiano Ronaldo, Portugal. This might be a surprise to some people to hear his name mentioned on this list, but there's an argument going around, and I agree with it, that are Portugal better without him? He's 36 years old now. He's not going to be pressing the back four to get the ball back. He's not going to be tracking back and helping when they've lost possession. He's just going to be a passenger. He may score a few goals, he may get personal glory, but that's not going to help his team. He's going to be a passenger. He's going to be going for the golden boot for his own well-being, not for the team. Eden Hazard, Belgium. Scored 4 goals since leaving Chelsea. In 2 seasons, that's not good enough for a player of his ability. I know he's been injured, but this is poor. And if Martinez plays him, it's going to be a mistake. He's not the Eden Hazard we all remember at Chelsea. Someone else needs to play instead. Karim Benzema, France. Exiled from the French national team for so long, back in for this tournament. Is it going to upset the apple cart? They managed to win the World Cup without him. Is it going to affect Mbappe? We don't know this. Got Griezmann there as well. Is it going to be too many cooks? I think it's just going to be a bit of a disruption. There's obviously still some players that may be affected by the whole scandal that went on last time. Just see his presence as a nonsense, really. And here we are, the number 1 player that is going to flop and let his country down at this tournament is none other than our very own Raheem Sterling. Been terrible this season. got dropped by Pep, brought back for some absurd reason in the Champions League. I think Chelsea must have been licking their lips as soon as they saw that team sheet go in, played poorly, and then they lost. So if you look back at City's games this season where they've been poor, he's normally been in the starting lineup on those games. So I think he should be dropped for England. If he plays, it's not going to end well. So guys, that was my Dirty Dozen. I believe these 12 players are going to flop at the Euros. Let me know what you think, whether you agree or disagree. Put it in the comments section. We'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.